Welcome back, everybody, to Unconditional Surrender, the me, myself, and I playthrough of the main event scenario. Games published by GMT Games, designed by Salvatore Vasta. We're getting ready to head into the Western Operations phase of August 1944, and we will get right to it. I'm going to get my timer up. So, where to begin? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 7, 8. I think we're going to start in Italy this time around and see if we can make anything happen here. It's not very good odds, but let's try it. So we will activate the British 8th Army for 2 points. And it will mobile attack the German 18th. So let's go to our math here. +1 for British, +2 for armor. The Germans are +2 because they're German. And then we go to combat commitment. If you look on the faction card, the Germans do have their tanks. Don't think I want to use it here. The Americans don't have a lot of extra stuff. They didn't play their surprise attack marker first, so get to combat commitment. The Germans don't. The British throw in their airplane for sortie because the Germans can't reach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They can help the Liguria or the 17th, but not the 18th of Africa Army. And then we get +2 for the airplane, and then -1 for the ridge and -1 for the rough terrain. So it's a +3 to +2. It cost me 4 movement points. 1 for the ridge, 2 for the rough terrain, and 1 for the unit to make that attack. So we roll. The British roll. A 2 + 3 is a 5, and the Germans roll. 6 + 2 is an 8. 5 to an 8 is an AS, so we stop that combat right there in its tracks. And that takes care of that attempt. I almost want to try with the Americans to see if I can push the 17th, but he can get an airplane in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He'd be at -2, I'd be at -3, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The British can't reach. I guess we'll go back over to the west, over into France, and see what we can do. British, American Air, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't really reach much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's why the Germans moved back so far, because the American Air has to move up in order to have a chance to do anything. Okay, let's activate the 7th Army. He'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, takes the city. Oh, stop that. 4. Then you can go 5, 6, and then 7, 8, 9. So he only has 1 movement point left. Go 7, 8, 9 to attack the 2nd German garrison. Right now I am net +2. Because I'm +3. Well, +1 for American, +2 for armor. And then -1 for the city. So I'm a +2 and he's a 0. I only get 1 attack here. I don't think I'm going to waste the airplane here. I'm going to have to move them up to try and attack things like Sedan or this hex down here. I'll just go +2 to 0. The Americans roll a 1 plus 2 is a 3. The Germans roll a 3. So that doesn't go anywhere. Guess we'll activate the first French army. Maybe they can take it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they have 5 movement points left. They will attack the same way. +2 to 0. 6 plus 2 is an 8. Germans roll a 5. An 8 to a 5 is a DR. So he has to retreat. No matter where he goes, it's not good. But if I get another retreat, I could end up in this X here. If I go here, I run out of retreat routes really fast. So I take Dijon. Then I'll spend 2 more to attack him again. This time I'll be +3 to +0, because he doesn't have any terrain or anything. And the first French army rolls a 4. +3 is a 7. And the Germans roll a 5, so they stand there. So we'll spend 2 more. +3 to 0. 5 plus 3 is an 8. Germans roll a 1. Okay, 8 to a 1, I believe, is a DD. And since he's a garrison unit, he has to come off. However, I don't get any will points for that. And he's done his job. He absorbed 1, 2, 3, 4 attacks before he died. And in using that, I used up almost all my movement points. Don't think I want to take the Hex. Well, it's a no enemy zone of control. But I only have 1 movement point. So anyway you look at it, I don't really have a good place to go, other than I really want to end up in 3118. Just because it kind of clogs him up a bit. And then we're going to activate, we're going to bring the American planes forward. This one's going to go to 3117. This one's going to go to Dijon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The British can reach up here, so I don't need to move the British airplanes. But that's 1 sortie for each airplane for moving them up, so I remember to do that. Then we'll move the first army. 1, 2, 3 into Dijon by the rail line. And then 4 to 32. What is that? 3218. So I have 6 movement points left at this point. I'm going to do a quick check of the map here. Yeah, it doesn't have any terrain there. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, give a little better, closer picture of this. So we're going to attack the 2nd infantry in a clear terrain hex. So that's 2 more movement points. And then I am +3 right now, and he is +2. 2, 3, 4, 5. He can fly his airplane here if he so chooses. Interesting dilemma. Do I fly my airplane here, or do I throw my tanks marker? We go to combat commitment. The Americans are going to commit for sure because they have airplanes. The question is whether I want to throw an airplane here or if I want to throw my tanks marker here for using it in the east to try and keep him from taking this hex. He'd be +5 to +2. I could make it +5 to +4 and maybe stuff the attack. Yeah, the Germans are going to commit. As a matter of fact, they're going to commit their airplane. Okay, so the Americans commit an airplane. So the Americans are a net of -4. Best they can get is a... Oh, they're actually the attacker. So they're -4 because they're +1 because they're American. And the Germans are actually at a net -2. So we roll. The Americans roll a 3 -4 means they have a 1. The Germans roll a 2. -2 is a 0, becomes a 1. So we each take a sortie. That should And both airplanes get in. So now the Germans go up to +2 for German, +2 for an airplane. And the Americans are +1 because they're American, +2 for armor, +2 for an airplane. So it's +5 to +4. That's a little better chance, I think. So the American Army rolls. 3 + 5 is an 8. The Germans roll. 2 + 4 is a 6. An 8 to a 6 I know is a diamond, so they held for that turn. The Americans will commit again. And we go to combat commitment. Yeah, they're going to commit their airplane. They're trying to bust through this. So they commit their airplane. Well, the Americans are going to go and commit their airplane. That's their logic. They just want to take this hex. They want this hex bad. Because it kind of breaks the muse. It lets me roll this way next turn. The Germans, however, are worried about this attack down here at Munich. If the Americans get lucky and bust through there, they could come up behind us. So if I use up my airplane down there, over here, I don't have it over there. I think I have to take it at -2. I think my armor might be more important for some of these other hexes. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and take it. The Americans go ahead and throw in their last airplane. At least, unless they fly a bomber down here. And they attack at +5 to +2. Americans roll 5 + 5 is a 10. Germans roll a 1. +2 is a 3. How about results table? A 10 to a 3 is a DD. So the 2nd infantry is flipped and retreats. The only hex it can retreat to. This airplane has to fly away. We'll just have it fly away to Frankfurt, I guess. And I have 2 movement points left, which means I don't have enough to actually do any actual attacks on him. But I'm thinking if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With only 2 movement points left, I could take the hex, but then I'd be stuck there. And I wouldn't give the 9th a chance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 9th could get off 1 attack. I guess the question is do I want to have the 9th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, try to attack at Stuttgart? Or he might actually take the hex? Decisions. And then where does Patton come in? I think Patton's just going to go through the center. That's Sedan. +2 to +2. It would depend on the British to try and break this city line some. Or I could have the 9th go about it and just do this attack in September when I can put down a surprise attack marker. And I'll have my airdrop unit. What do I have? Do I get my airdrop? I get my airdrop next turn as well. So I might be able to do something about taking places like Metz. I don't think I can get to Metz this turn. I will take the hex. Because he can have an airplane defend all this. So I'm going to just stay there. 2, 3, 4, 5. So I guess we'll go after Sedan. The Americans. Maybe I should have the Canadians do their thing first, right? So I go 1, 2, 3, 4. And assault here. I gotta go take 2 points off the British. Ta-da. Okay, and then they attack the 8th garrison. He doesn't have anything in range. He can still play a tanks marker, but once again, this is a speed bump. The Germans are not really. They have no retreat route, so there's no reason to waste resources trying to hold that hex. It's just to make him spend some production or movement points. So the British are at. They moved 1 and 3 to attack, so they have 6 left, which means I'll get off a couple attacks on these cities up here. That's where I'll probably use my my tanks marker. The British are at +3. The Germans are at 0, and then I have to subtract 1 for the city. So I think I'm going to have the British commit, but I'm going to have them fly their bomber. So they're going to fly their bomber in here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like last place they can actually get to is Lille and Antwerp. So I'm going to use the bomber for this attack to give me +2. So I'm a net of +4 to 0. And the British roll 2 + 4 is a 6. The Germans roll a 1. They have no retreat route, so they will be eliminated. But again, no willpower because of it's a garrison unit. So I lost my speed bumps. He will take the hex. He has 6 movement points left. See, the German aircraft 2, 3, 4, 5 is short of Antwerp and Lille. So we're going to go ahead and attack with the first at Antwerp. And I think we're going to use... 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to use this airplane that's back here. So, same thing, we're at +4, but now the Germans are +2. And the question is, do they want to use their tanks marker here to shut this down? I have 3 movement points left. So right now it's a +4 to a +2. If I get retreated, I go into the swamp. I really want to save it for the Soviets. I have a feeling there's going to be a much more key hex over there. But I've got more space than Soviets. I don't have a lot of space over here. Do I want to shut this one down? Let him go in here. No, I have to shut down the Brussels one. I'm going to let this one go. So the British roll 6 + 4 is a 10. Germans roll 5 + 2 is a 7. A 10 to a 7 is a DR. So the Germans retreat into the swamp hex. First Canadian's going to take the hex. Oops, before I take the hex, why don't I flip that control? There we go. I have 3 movement points left. Well, that's special. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I can push him out of Brussels, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He'll have air cover there. Now he can concentrate on Sedan. He won't have retreat routes, right? So maybe I kill a German unit too. So we'll go ahead and spend our last 3 to attack into Brussels. So the attack shifts to here. Trying to get rid of his city line so that the surprise attack marker will be useful against all these swamps and rivers and things. So maybe I'll be able to do something with it next turn. +4 to +2. Well, actually, it's +2 right now. I have to commit. An airplane would make it a net of +4. And then the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this guy in the back. And then... Ooh, I need to move the guy in the back up. 5... 5. So I can't. The bomber can't help anymore. I should have used him at Antwerp. 2, 3, 4, 5. Such a problem with my airplanes. I don't have enough to overwhelm the Germans. especially if they get into their air back. That big old nasty Panzer sitting there. Well, I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm calling for commitment. So the Germans know it would be a +4 to a +2, and it's the last attack. No, I'm going to let that go too. So the British roll. They use their They're going to go ahead and use this one on this attack. And the British roll. A 5 plus 4 is a 9. The Germans roll. 2 plus 2 is a 4. So it's a 9 to a 4, which is a DR. So all they can do is retreat to here, because that's all they have. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have to go up against his airplanes there and possibly his tanks. The Americans are going to face the same thing. I'm trying to figure out if I should take this hex or if I should run the second British up here and try to take the clear terrain. Well, he won't be isolated no matter what I do. So the question is just whether I think maybe I just take the hack. 2, 3, 4. I'd be +3 to +2 and go to commitment. Yeah, I gotta take the hex. I'm gonna take that hex. Three, 4, 5, 6. Now, before I do another ground attack, we're going to fly Newcastle into Hamburg. The Germans decline to intercept. And then we fly Newcastle to Bremen, and the Germans decline to intercept. The reason why I'm declining to intercept, in case you're wondering, I only have one sortie left, and I think it's best used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can protect the 7th, the 19th, either one. Right now it would be the 7th. Can't quite reach the 3rd Guards in Rotterdam, so he might go after that one. But I'm worried about like the Americans blowing up the 10th and then Patton trying to sneak in here, so I want to save that airplane, not only for up there, but also for the south. And I still have my tanks marker, so I need a, see, I'd be -3. I need a 6 to stop him, so I'm going to use the airplane for other things. So the Americans are just going to help. The British are going to put one in Dusseldorf. And the Americans... Do I want to fly them into here and have them be able to be used on the 10th? Means I'll have to supply another unit, but I think that's worth it. The Americans are going to fly into Lille for a sortie. I'm going to activate the 9th. Go 1, 2, 3, 4 into 3017. And then attack into Sedan. So that cost me 3 more, so it's a total of 7. I have 3 left. The Americans right now are a net of +2 to the German +2. We can go to combat commitment. The Germans are kind of like, do I throw it here and just stop them? Try and stop him here. He's going to get at least one more attack on me. If I stop him here, I can make Patton have to be the one that kills him. Yeah, I'm going to throw the tanks marker here in the combat commitment thing. And so, and the Americans take a sortie to do this. So the Germans are at +4. The Americans are at a net of +4. They normally would be 1 for American, 2 for armor, 2 for airplane, which would be 5, -1 for the city. So, +4 to +4. The Americans rolled a 1, that becomes a 5. Germans rolled 2, that becomes a 6. 5 to a 6 is a diamond. So the tanks marker gets used up. Should help the Soviets. I still have an attack left, so I'm going to take that. And right now it would be +2 to +2. Do I want to throw the other airplane? Yeah, I think I go ahead and throw the airplane. Gives me that +4 to +2. Americans roll. 1 + 4 is a 5. Germans roll. 3 + 2 is a 5, and Sedan is holding. Ah, boy. Patton can only go in there at +2 to +2. Second armored could go in there, and I could send Patton to Antwerp. But I was really thinking of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thinking I want to challenge him to use his airplane. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the 7th. That leaves me 3 movement points. Here, I can click on movement points. So I'm attacking here now with the 2nd armored, and the 1st Canadian went, and I need to take off 2 more. Those are my 3 mobile units. I'm going to go to combat commitment. Oh, man. This is bad. The British right now are +2 to +2. If they get an airplane, it'd be +4 to +2. And you'd have another attack afterwards. Then you could fill in behind the line with Patton. So they could get to the Maas. They couldn't cross it. Yeah, I think I have to take a chance here. I'm really worried about the 17th getting a very bad die roll, that if I don't have the airplane to help it, that he'll just break through to Munich. So that's my timer. I'm going to go a little long because I'm basically done. I have 1 more attack, 2 more attacks maybe. So let's just do this. The British commit 4, 5, so I'll commit this one. Not knowing what the Germans are going to do. The Germans say no, and the British are like, oh, you're not going to commit. Then maybe I will throw in this bomber instead. 2, 3, 4, 5, which I can't do, so never mind. Has to be this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the only guy that can reach. So he gets thrown in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I go up to +4 net, and he's +2. Germans roll, or British roll. 4 + 4 is an 8. Germans roll. 3 + 2 is a 5. 8 to a 5 is a DR, just barely. If I'd have thrown something in, I probably would have held. So I have to retreat. I retreat to 27-18, which is another swamp hex. And the British are kind of like, I really wanted Patton to be able to do something. But that's a really good hex to take. So we're going to have to fill in with Patton rather than have him attack the Germans at +2 to +2. Right? Because we really need to take that hex. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm just kind of stuck. Yep, just kind of stuck. That's the way it goes. Well, actually, I can do something else. I can do something else. 3 movement points left, huh? Well, I could attack this guy here. So that's what I think I'm going to do. For 2 movement points. I'm at a net +3. I still can't reach with any of my aircraft. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He can reach, and again, I have this paranoia about the American aircraft coming at me at +3 to +2 twice. If they come after me at +3 to +2, what am I doing? I should, before I started the British, I should have had the American fly up here and take that sortie off of him. I am not too bright these days. Yeah, if he makes it through Munich, if he takes this hex, it really doesn't matter other than I'm losing an infantry. If he can bust through here, maybe he gets to Munich, maybe he doesn't. If he does, I don't think he stays in supply. We'll take a chance. We're going to go ahead and fly against this here to give me +4. And the British are only at +3, and they don't have any airplanes that can reach. So it's +3 to +4. British roll. 4 + 3 is a 7. Germans roll. 2 + 4 is a 6. So they hold. And like I said, there's something else I can do here. Oh, that's really not a good thing to do, is it? Probably not. Now we're going to play conservative because I have a surprise attack marker and a paratrooper coming next turn. The 10th can't get away, so Sedan will fall. Hopefully in my turn. I didn't do much damage to the Germans. I was hoping to knock some units out. He's going to be able to replenish some air. Well, I'm still in supply here. He can't move into there until he gets him to retreat. I think I'm going to be a little bit of a gamble here. I'm going to go ahead and have Patton activate and come after the 10th. So that's 1 and 3, so he has 6 left. And he's only +2 because of the city, and the Germans are +2, and they're out of stuff to play. And I didn't use my jets marker this turn. I'm not too bright. I should use my jet marker in that first combat to ensure that I could cause him lots of sorties. I'm just making all sorts of mistakes here. So it's +2 to +2. And the Americans roll. 3 + 2 is a 5, and the Germans roll. 6 + 2 is an 8. 5 to an 8 is stop that. So we stop that attack. And that's all there is to that. The Americans are going to go ahead and try their can we break through the Alps move. 5th Army activates. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 to move there, so he has 6 movement points left. Throws in an airplane so that he's at starts off at +5 and then -1 for the ridge, 1 for the thing. He's +3 to +2. Americans roll 6 plus 3 is a 9. Germans roll. 1 plus 2 is a 3. That is very bad for the Germans. A 9 to a 3 is a DD. Oh, crap. I was afraid of this. So I'm flipped. If I go into Munich, he'll be able to attack right into Munich and capture it. Probably get a no enemy zone of control. He can move up his garrison. He can play games with his garrisons to keep him in supply. And he could do the same thing here. Boy, I think I have to go to 3123. If I go here, he's still -1, so he'd be +2 to 0. Here he'd be +3 to 0. Right? So I think I have to go here. Defend Munich? Or sit out here. Possibly get eliminated. See, that's 2 more here or 3 more there. +2 to 0 versus +3. I think I want to go with +2 to 0 and risk Munich. Or you go here, then that would be 2, so leave him with 4. You could go there 1 and then attack here 1 time. And you'd have to eliminate him to keep himself in supply. Otherwise, he's got to run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He cannot keep himself in supply if he goes and captures Munich. So I'll retreat to there. Americans take the hex. They spend 2 to attack the 17th, which is now at 0, and I'm at +3. That's an interesting problem to have here. I could... Well, I think I want to try and kill that German unit because that would give me a will point on him. And then I can try and come back. Yeah. We'll just take the +3 to 0 and see what happens. Americans roll. 2 plus 3 is a 5. They're not going to kill him. Germans roll a 3. That's a DR. So the Germans will retreat here. And Americans go, okay, taking that hex would not be a good idea. So they're just going to attack the Liguria for 3 movement points. I should have thrown the airplane in. Might have made a difference. And they'll throw their airplane in too. So that they're at +5 and then -1 for the terrain. +4 to 0. 2 plus 4 is a 6. And that's a 5. 6 to a 5 is a diamond, so I didn't take that hex. Now the Americans are officially out of supply unless I do something. I don't want to give this flank up over here. So instead of running down and grabbing Marseille, I can get that anytime with send the home army down there or something. I'm going to activate this guy and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that will keep the Americans in supply. And I have to go take a national point off for that. Production point puts me down to 29. And that is the Western Allied operations pretty much. I got to check my supply. These guys all come down the rail line and on down to southern Italy. These guys are all able to get onto rail lines from like to here and then through Paris and out through the ports. Same thing up here. He goes down into Brussels and then out through the port. So everybody's in supply for this turn. So that is Western operations phase. That's Western operations phase of August 1944. We'll be back with the Soviet operations. Probably we'll just split them on the 28 to 30 minute mark because there's so much to do in the east and the end of turn stuff. Sorry this went over a little long. I'm Dren608. If you like my videos, please subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. And we'll be back shortly with the Soviet operations phase for August 1944. Until then, bye-bye.